Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and if you're new here, my name is Edward Smith and welcome to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at the 5 best Wave plugins that you can get today to edit your vocals. And don't get it wrong, I'm not being sponsored by Waves in any way. I'm making this video because personally I use most of these plugins to edit my vocals every single day. So many producers, so many mixing engineers that are top level use these plugins because they are so good. And today I actually bought a few plugins, and that kind of sparked the idea of letting you guys know about the plugins that I use when it comes to Waves, and also that they are having so many deals where they're currently having a 50% off and 40% off that 50% off price. So Waves have all these crazy deals, whether it's Black Friday or 4th of July. So they're really just a great company when it comes to plugins, and they have some really good plugins for vocals. So let's get this video started. Have a look at my top 5 Waves plugins that I use to edit my vocals, and maybe even add an additional one just for a bonus. So the vocal that I'm going to use to show you guys how exceptional these vocal plugins are is actually a cover of Dance Monkey that I did a few months ago. And if you guys want to check out that cover to see the full kind of thing, just click on the link up here. But the first plugin that we're going to be looking at is one of my favorites, and that is the CLA Vocal plugin, designed by Chris Lord-Alge, who was the mixing engineer, vocal mixing engineer for Green Day. And he's really just made this plugin exceptional for vocal mixing because he's put in 70 to almost 80% of what you need to edit vocals in one plugin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off all the effects of each of these stems and then play the raw audio so you can just have a listen to what the vocal sounds like with no effects on it. And then from there I will put the bass on, the treble on, the compress on, the reverb, the delay, the pitch, just to give you an idea of what each of these things do, and I'll fiddle around with them a bit so you can have an idea of what effect they have in their separate kind of things. So this is what the vocal sounds like without any effect, just an EQ, as you guys can see over there, and this is kind of what it sounds like.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine.
So that's what it sounds like with no effects on it. And what I'm going to do now is play it again from the front, but slowly but surely add all these things to it so you can hear what each thing has in terms of its different effect. And I'll play around with it a bit like I said earlier. So let's go for it.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead when I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Oh, I see you every time. And oh my eye, I like your style. Oh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again.
So as you can hear, this plugin has quite a few effects. It sounds really cool with all the effects that you can have. And if you can't afford to get a really nice reverb and delay and a compressor, this plugin does all of that for you for a really good price. And it's what I would have if I had to start out and don't have the money to buy really nice plugins. Yes, you get some really good free plugins, but I mean, to have a reverb and a delay and a good compress, and even plugins that you don't usually use, or things that you don't use like a bass and a pitch, that's really fun and really exciting. And it's definitely a really cool plugin to edit vocals with. And the next plugin that we're going to be looking at is one of my favorites, and it's a plugin that doesn't have so much to do with what's going on in terms of effects, but just volume and things like that. And that plugin is One and Only Vocal Rider, which is another one of my favorites and also used by so many professionals. And what this plugin does is it pretty much increases the volume when your song is a little bit too low or the vocal is a little bit too low, and decreases it when it's too high, just to get a better balanced overall sound. Don't forget, it's not a compressor, and that I know that compressors do the same thing, but compressors add an effect to your track, where this is just changing volume. It's not affecting and adding its own kind of tone to the song. So this is what it sounds like when I don't have, the vocal rider on.
Oh, I see you every time.
So now I'm going to put it on and have a look and see how this meter jumps up and down, just to show you exactly how it goes up when the track is a little bit too soft and how it goes down when the track is a little bit too loud.
And oh my eye, I like your style. Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
And this is just exceptional. I love this plugin because it makes your job so easy. If you are someone that's at the stage of doing automation and stuff like that, you can literally have this plugin right in the automation for you at the bottom, where you go and instead of going for every single piece of vocal that you recorded and adjusting the volume and changing that, you just automate it, you click record, and it kind of balances it out perfectly for you without adding any coloring and stuff to the track the way a compressor would. So that is really, really cool and just almost a must plugin if you can get it. It's just so cool. So the next plugin that we're going to be looking at, that's also used by the pros out there, and it's one of the most popular plugins for vocal mixing and for mixing of pretty much anything, and that is the SSL channel stereo, which I use. This is the E channel, and it's just a great plugin for vocal mixing and editing. Also, that it has a compressor which sounds amazing. It also has great EQs, and it's just a plugin that's also amazing in terms of the coloring and effect that it has on a vocal, because it's just such a unique piece of gear that solid state Logic make. And this plugin I use personally to kind of compress my vocals a little bit, and also for EQ and things like that, just because it sounds so good. And what I'm going to do is show you exactly what this plugin does on this side, because I mainly use this side. And what this is your compressor, which I put around 110 just to compress the vocal slightly. I usually take it up a little bit depending on the vocal in this case, where I just amp up the high end just to give it that nice and clear sound that you're looking for. The high mid frequencies, I don't take it up too much. Sometimes I drop it even. Let's drop it in this case. And then the low mids I drop over here, and the low frequencies I drop pretty much, not all the way down, but quite a bit. So for those that want to try and understand what this is better, if you look at this low side is this over here, this over here is this over here, this over here is this over here, and this over here is this over here of your frequency spectrum. So I'm going to play it without the plugin effect just so you guys can have a listen, and then I'll put on the plugin and just listen to the detail and the clearness of how the vocal gets less muddy and starts standing out.
Oh my eye, I like your style. Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, oh.
So you can actually already tell, especially if you're wearing headphones, you can kind of tell that this plugin is making it sound a lot clearer. You can actually hear that crisp tone that you want in a vocal. So it's really nice and just exceptional, and trust me, used by so many professionals out there. So definitely a plugin to get. And if you can get this plugin, which is usually around $150, $200 for the set, you can get this plugin on its own on a good day for $30 if you're lucky. So it's a great plugin to get, and definitely one that I use almost all the time, pretty much all the time on my vocals. Moving on to the next plugin, which is also a great plugin that I use, not as often as the other three, but I do use it quite often, and that is the H compressor. And this is also a great plugin that I use to compress my vocals and sometimes play around mostly with the presets. And sometimes I play around with a tight vocal, the parallel compression. And I'm just going to pretty much do the same thing, where I'm going to go through the three presets that I use to edit my vocals and play it as the default vocal and then with a plugin, just so you can have a listen in terms of the difference. So let's play this without any effect on it.
Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
So now it's compressing. Now I'm going to put on the presets that I use, which is a tight vocal. Let's listen to what that sounds like.
Ooh, you make me wanna cry.
So what that does is it compresses our vocal quite nicely, and then we can enhance it later with another compressor or something like that. So this compressor just brings it down in such a way that there's nothing going out of the border and limiting out that makes you hurt your ears when you listen to it. It's really compressing and doing what it needs to do. And if we maybe take another parallel compression preset, let's have a listen to that and hear what that sounds like.
I like your style. Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. Oh.
So just listening from that, you can seriously tell that your whole vocal is standing out a lot more. The parallel compression is kind of making your vocal stand out more in the sense that it's not wider or any broader in the way that parallel compression really does, but it just brings out your vocal a lot more. In my opinion, it just really brings out that compression. It doesn't really do parallel compression as it would say, but it does do a really good job of bringing out your vocal out of the mix. Especially if I had to play it now with the guitar track, you'll kind of hear what it sounds like without the parallel compression preset and with it. So let's have a listen to that.
I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again.
I just love seeing the needle of a compressor because you can actually see that something's happening, and I love that. But it sounds really, really good, and it's a great plugin to get. It's one of my favorites, so go check it out. But our next plugin that we're going to be looking at, or the next two that we're going to be looking at, are more effect plugins, which is your delay and your reverb. And these are essential for vocal mixing in any fashion because the gaps that you have between the recorded parts that you sing need to be filled somehow, and delay and reverb are the things that you go to do that, just so that you can have a full type of vocal and not just have a solid, dead, boring vocal. And one of the main plugins that I use in terms of a delay is H-Delay. I don't set them up in my main feed like this. I usually send them in an FX channel so it doesn't affect the main stem of my vocal. But just for this example, I just want to show you what this plugin can do and what it sounds like. And for first, I'm just going to put it at a ping pong delay, which is great. Here you have your delay and your feedback, as most delays have, your modulation. All these plugins have the same knobs, or 90% of them have the same knobs. So I don't have to run through every single kind of knob and things like that. I just want to show you what unique features these plugins have. And in this case, as a nice ping pong, you can set the kind of ratio of your delay, the feedback of it. And if you don't really know how to set it up nicely for you, as a beginner, I would say go to the presets, start there and then fiddle around. And without this delay, this is what it sounds like, as I said earlier.
And oh my eye, I like your style.
So nice and bland. I know that played with the guitar now, but without that.
Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
See, so there's already your delay, you can hear it. So what I do is drop down that feedback and you already have a nice delay going on if you want to have a listen again.
I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh.
Hear that? Perfect. It just fills in that empty space between the vocals. Sounds really, really good. If you want to just use a preset, go for something simple. Let's go for a chorus delay. Have a listen to what that sounds like.
You see you every time. Oh my eye, I like your style.
This delay is crazy. It's really crazy. But, geez, it's still going on. Let's drop the feedback. There we go. But anyway, this is a great plugin. I personally use it as a send, like I said earlier, and I use the ping pong so that when I sing, my main vocal isn't affected and I have that ping pong delay going on. It's a great plugin and it's definitely worth having a look at. And the sixth plugin that we're going to be looking at, and the final bonus plugin that I just had to make part of this list, is Reverb, which is a reverb plugin that I use. And it's simple, it's fantastic, and it really, really does a good job. And when it comes to reverb, I don't fiddle too much with the effects and stuff. I just have my preset and kind of see how much it affects my mix. I don't really go out too far. And I usually use a plate, whether it's a vocal plate or something like that. Without it, it sounds like this.
Ooh, you make me wanna cry.
And with it, it sounds like this.
Now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
So that's a very big effect. Yes, it takes the whole vocal away, but if you're using it as an effects channel and you're just having it as a slight effect on the vocal and not on the main, it will sound something like this if I had to do an example of that just to show you. And you go true verb mono, you say reverb, and we say add track. Let's use true verb now. It's also a vocal plugin, which is also amazing. They're both exceptional. I use both of them all the time. So there's another bonus plugin that I use for reverb. And if we go for also a nice medium plate, and we just make sure that it's not affecting our vocal that much. In our sends over here, we go to reverb, switch that on. So this is what it sounds like if it's full blast on the vocal.
So I say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I've never seen any.
So that's quite harsh, that's quite effective. So just by dropping it down a little bit, so it doesn't affect the vocal that much, it sounds something like this, and it's gonna sound really, really good and full.
Anybody do the things you do before? Or they say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again.
So that sounds great, and I do the same with the delay, just so that it doesn't affect the main channel and just supports that in between gaps that you have between your vocals to fill that out. But those are the plugins that I use to very much edit my vocals. I use them all the time. They are fantastic, and they are definitely a good investment if you're looking to really go into music and do it full time and do it properly. Especially if you like mixing vocals and instruments that are live and things like that. These plugins are exceptional, and they are worth it because so many people buy them and they just do a good job. But other than that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you loved it, subscribe down below, and I will see you for another video next time.